Hey everyone, this time on Tim Talks Audio, we're checking out the Clairvoyant Amp Suite from the Modern Metal Songwriter. The Modern Metal Songwriter is a group of people that get together and talk about different techniques of writing songs, what's important, how to move from one section to another, and other kind of songwriting tips for modern metal. Haha, there's the name. The founders of this group have now started putting out their own plugins, and they started here with the Clairvoyant Amp Suite. Now, it's an amp suite because there's a lot of different options that you have within this one plugin. So let's dive into the DAW and take a look and listen to the Clairvoyant Amp Suite. Okay, so here it is. This is the Clairvoyant Amp Suite. This is the default load. Because we're talking modern metal, you do start on the heavy channel and this red one. And there are other channels available, low and mid, and we'll get into these in a little bit. But it's not just one amp. Like we said, we have different channels that we can do with a little bit less distortion and a clean channel as well, but there's also your standard amp sim controls, gain, an EQ section from low, mids, and highs. Then on the right, you have the adjustments that you can do either while you're tracking or either after the fact. That is the tilt EQ that's built right in, and as you increase, you can see it's tilting. So now our low end is going to be emphasized and our top end is going to be kind of subdued. And then if we go in the opposite direction, our top end will open up. And we'll play along with this in a little bit. Then we have the enhance button here. And to engage it, you can just click on it. And then you can also increase or decrease how much the enhance is doing. And what the enhance is actually doing is some very common metal mixing things. One in particular is what's known as the Andy Sneap trick, where you're using some kind of multi-bands compressor on your low mids to help keep the chugs in your song and in your progressions kind of tamed, because chugs are really low, mid, heavy. And if you hit a lot of them, it can push your speakers a lot. Using some multi-band compression or the enhance feature right here inside Clairvoyant, it keeps that contained. And as you increase, it's just going to do a bit more compression in those low mids. There's some other things happening as well, but that's the really important one that we're doing with the enhance. Then of course you have level for your output. But it's not just these amps. We also have a pedal section. Before your amp, you may want to adjust what's going on. And again, by default, it starts with the overdrive on and the settings that you see here. And then as other options, you have a fuzz pedal, a lo-fi pedal, and you also have a delay and reverb. This is a stereo delay. You can adjust the left and right channels independently. And the reverb has some modulation in it. That's what the mod mix is here. It allows you to kind of move the reverb around a little bit. This way it's not just a stagnant style reverb. And then last but not least, you have the cab section, and this is where things get really cool, is we're not working with just one cabinet and one impulse response. The Clairvoyant plugin is preloaded with 10 different impulse responses, and by default starts with 2 of them selected, IR1 and IR2, and you can blend these to taste. So you can record a section, loop it, and then just start clicking through the different impulse responses and hear how much it changes the sound, because the speaker, and in this case, the impulse response, plays more into the sounds than what amp you have and what pedals you have. What speaker you're using in your cabinet or what impulse response you're using has a very heavy effect on the sound of your guitar. And of course, if you have your own selection of impulse responses that you prefer, you can browse your local system and load them in right here. You can see I've clicked the button and it's just looking for the default folder, but you would just go in, pick your source folder for your impulse responses, and they'll show up here. And then underneath that, on both the A and the B side, you have the volume, and they're both set to the same right now. You have a delay where you can actually kind of almost move the microphone back from one or both sides of the cab, but really you're just changing the timing that it's coming out of the speakers. You also have a phase or polarity switch right here and a power button for just those things. Maybe you just want one cabinet. You can turn the B side off and now you're just working with A. And then of course, maybe you don't want an exact 50-50 blend. If you come up here above the user interface speaker cab, you have this A and B slider, and you can just grab this and slide it towards one side or the other. You'll still get a mix of both, but this changes the blend between the two impulses. And now very quickly, let's go across the top. You have your preset browser or the arrows that allows you to bang through your different presets by just clicking through. Then the speaker button allows you to adjust the input to the amp sim. It gives you the instructions. You can chug along for 5 seconds and it adjusts the input knob here automatically. It'll get the levels in the sweet spot for this amp sim. That's what this speaker does here. And you can see, press button and chug for 5 seconds. It'll do it for you. We have a gate built in, so because we're working in metal, we're usually using high gain, so we got to get rid of all of that noise for when we're not playing or doing something very light. We're trying to keep things nice and tight. Here's a pre-gate right here. Adjust your input and your output. One of them is automatic, like we said. And then there's a built-in tuner. And then on the right-hand side, oversampling, undo, redo. There is an A and a B option in this as well, and change your user size. But now, let's get into how this thing sounds. Now, you may have noticed during the first half of this video, I've been sitting here with my guitar this whole time. And instead of using Movie Magic, where I would cut for you guys and just grab it, I was lazy and I just hooked everything up. In its default state, this is how Clairvoyant sounds. And there you go. That's its default state. We do have our pedals on. We have the overdrive in its default state here, and we're on our heavy channel with cabs 1 and 2. But now, without changing anything else, let's just change our channel so we can hear the default state of the 3 different amps that are in. We've heard heavy. Now let's go to mid. This is more of like your crunch tones, your medium distortions, we'll say. Here is mid. I should probably also note that I'm on the middle position right now on the guitar. So of course the guitar is playing a little bit of impact into the sound, but I just needed to let you guys know. Now let's switch over to the low so you guys can hear the clean. And you probably have noticed that as we're switching through these amps, the user interface changes, giving us a visual representation of the different channels that we're in. Obviously, yes, we have the control knob here, but now we have this pretty teal or light blue color, as opposed to the purple or the heavy red. And like we said, here is the low, but what I'm gonna do for low is I'm actually gonna go in and turn off the overdrive pedal so you guys can hear the low amp, and then we'll actually put it on because for cleans, especially in metal, sometimes you want a little bit of that breakup kind of sound. Like it wants to kind of crunch. It wants to push into what would be the mid amp over here. That's what the overdrive pedal will do for us on the low setting. So I'm just going to turn off the pedal by clicking active down here. Although I do need to go back in and turn it on so that when we do engage it or take it out of bypass from down here, it's actually doing something. And now we're using the same amp, but we'll engage the overdrive pedal. Okay, last little thing. I recorded something real quick. Forgive all the mistakes because I did it just now and I put the guitar down. That is movie magic for you. What we're going to do is I'm just going to play a little bit of this section and start messing around with some of these settings. And what I'm going to do is kind of concentrate on the different IRs. So you can hear how the different blends or the different IRs play such a big part in the sound of your guitar. So having this section alone is really handy. But let's go back in, we'll hit play, and I'm gonna start on the crunch. And one other thing I'm gonna do is I'll mess around with the pedal section and just play with some of these, because that'll be fun. Let's listen to this thing and just start clicking around and having some fun. So there it is. That is the Clairvoyant Amp Suite from the Modern Metal Songwriter. And you heard, this is a very versatile amp. As we were using the cabs section, we're getting so many different kinds of sounds, especially through the different amps. There's a lot going on. The pedals are doing a ton. They have a lot of different settings that we didn't even get into all of that. We just kind of clicked them on and heard how they sound. Yes, it sounds like a delay. Yes, it sounds like reverb. You've got a lo-fi fuzz pedal, overdrive, 10 different preloaded impulse responses, and you heard it has such an effect on the sound of your guitar. So you can see why this is a very versatile amp suite. If you want to pick up your version of the Clairvoyant Amp Suite, use the link down below. Also, make sure to check out their website. There's also going to be a link down in the description or in the top right-hand corner right now. Go ahead over and support the guys and maybe learn a thing or two with the Modern Metal Songwriter. That's all for now. If you found anything informative, please like and share the video. Want to join the community, talk plugins, maybe get some mix reviews? Jump into the Discord. There's a link in the description. You want me to mix your song? I'd love to work with you. Head over to timflansbaum.com and let's get that started. But if you have a question, ask it in the comments and I'll answer it in a future video. Thanks for watching.